A little bit of news in the Islanders prospect pool. Cameron Berg has entered the NCAA transfer portal. So what does that mean exactly? New York Islanders fourth round pick from 2021, Cameron Berg, has entered the transfer portal. So what does that mean? Well, just on the surface of it, it means what it says. He's entered a portal of players that are looking to transfer. Which is a new mechanics in college sports because that while transfers always existed, they were highly de-incentivized, right? You had to ask your coach to go, and why would they always say yes unless the situation was negative, which isn't helpful to you at all. You'd also have to sit out a full year, which is no one wants to do that. No one in their right mind wants to do that. Specifically, a kid drafted by an NHL squad, there's no way he's going to sit out a year voluntarily. No. And so this year and the last couple of years, those walls, if you will, have come down. All you need to do to enter the transfer portal is speak to your compliance officer, and boom, you're on the list 48 hours later, and you don't have to sit out a full year. Now, there's certain rules around the transfer portal period, if you will. In college hockey, it begins the date that the selection is made for the Frozen Four tournament, and it ends on May 18th, or 60 days later, if you will. So on March 20th, the portal opened, so players could indicate that they wanted to enter the transfer portal, and then 60 days from there, every other college side has 60 days to either take these players or not. So remember, just because Cameron Berg entered the transfer portal does not mean he will transfer. I think he will, because a player like him isn't just going to sit there for nothing. Someone's going to take him. But there's a real possibility that he does stay with Omaha, Nebraska. Then you might be saying, well, why did he enter the transfer portal? And that's straight up shrug emoji. We don't know right now why he entered the transfer portal. It could be a whole host of reasons. Maybe the opportunities aren't there going forward for him. Maybe it's the coaching situation isn't what he wants it to be. Maybe he just wants to see if the grass is greener on the other side. Or there's a big class of freshmen coming in, taking in a bunch of slots. That would kind of, speak to the first one, but that could be another reason. We don't know exactly why he chose to enter the transfer portal, but it could be either one of those reasons. I don't think it's Omaha, Nebraska saying we don't want you type of thing, and so go find another home. Because as you see here, Cameron Berg is a pretty darn good player. Not top of the country, but he's a 24-point player in 37 games this year, 10 goals. That's pretty good. And 128 shots on net. That's wild, right? If you do the math here, thank you, calculator, 128 divided by 37, 3.3 shots per game on average. That's a lot of pucks to the net for Cameron Berg. And it's a big jump from last year, too, where he only had 75 shots on net. He basically doubled the amount of pucks going towards the net this year. Now, yes, he is kind of flatlined at 24 and 23 points last season, but this is, again, a sophomore player going into his junior year. This is typically when players like Cameron Berg, who drafted in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, take a big step up, right? They have a couple of years where they're playing lower, core tier minutes, 4th line, 3rd line, a little bit of power play, maybe a little bit of PK type of thing. And that kind of goes up and up every year until they get into their junior, senior years where they become, usually if they're good enough, top 6 players, maybe even top line players. And I would imagine that's where Cameron Berg would have been next year for Omaha, Nebraska, assuming he doesn't stay, or assuming he did stay. So it kind of surprises me that he's entering the transfer portal. I really wonder why he chose to do that. Now, I'm excited to see where he potentially lands because, again, I really do think he's going to transfer. I really want to see if he's going to. I really hope he goes to a program where he's going to be surrounded with more talent and better players because I think that will unlock his true potential. I don't think what we saw at Omaha, Nebraska was the true Cameron Berg. We saw flashes, but not the full Cameron Berg. I think there's more to his game than what we saw. And with maybe better players around him, that might kind of suss it out. Specifically because he's, again, entering his junior and senior year. Junior year and then senior year. Like, this kid is only going to get better. And if he goes to a better school, look out. We have until May 18th to see if he does transfer. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where he does go. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for following. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. And if you have already, or just about to do so, or just because you watched the video, thank you, thank you, thank you.